And like, you don't mind me cussing on
You're fine.
Oh, okay.
So you done did it already. It's
yeah, my bad.
You know you're fine.
I'm just not asking too.
You're fine. And I'm about to say you done did it.
I got this problem in my brain where I don't even recognize cuss words. I don't know where that comes from, dog.
It's
all good. I don't even recognize
We're just gonna put the explicit mark on the episode. It's okay. It's all good.
Life is like a basketball game. Sometimes you're up, other times you're down. Opponents and adversaries coming at you left and right. However, it's not the challenges you face that define you. What defines you is how you play the game. And I play to win. Welcome to my world, Carlton's World.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Carlton's World. I got my guy here. He is the host and creator of Sit Downs with Slim.
Yes,
my guy,
sir.
Slim.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, dog. Chilling, bro. I'm making sure I'm keeping proper podcast etiquette because I hate when people get on my podcast with bad etiquette. You know what I'm saying?
So explain it to me. What's proper podcast etiquette?
Not on your phone. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to flip the phone over. Not on your phone. Not being distracted every 2 seconds. Getting up, walking away. Cutting people off. That's a whole nother topic I can get into all day, though. The etiquette of having a conversation. Most people cannot have a conversation, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you done taught me something because I know I be like, I check my phone every now and again. So.
Nah. You can like be on your phone, bro. But I'm talking about like people that like be on the phone the whole time. I've done episodes like that though. I ain't gonna lie. Like, and if you watching this, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just a compulsive gambler.
Okay.
So I be on my phone like gambling, you know what I'm saying? I can't help it. Like if I start, I can't stop. So that's why I be on the phone. You know what I'm saying? I don't be on there being rude, like trying to text your girlfriend good morning.
Not text your.
I think that's what people be doing.
Who girlfriend are you texting?
Nah, I'm saying that's what I think people be doing.
Oh,
I think people be like on the phone, like good morning, queen. How's your day? Like trying to set it up. Because you know how like they have a drink on the pie, like they trying to set it up, set up the next move. Like nah, chill, bro, just chill. Bro.
Oh, that's funny. The one thing I will appreciate, I appreciate about you is your this flat out honesty. I love how blunt you are, and I love how straightforward you are. That's you're consistent with that. You've been like that since the first day I met you.
Oh yeah, bro. I take pride in being myself, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Like I was a real shy type of person when I was young.
Really?
Yeah. Like
okay.
Super shy because I was a nerd, bro. And like I was in like you seen Malcolm in the Middle?
I've seen a few episodes.
Bro, I was in classes like that, but I played basketball. So like when I was around my homeboys, I would talk about like my nerd type of shit, and they like just would look at me like I was a weirdo.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I grew up kind of shy. And then, like, as I got older, I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to just start talking. So now I just be talking. I only like to be around people that be themselves. Because, like, you know how when you're a teenager, you're trying to figure yourself out?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people I hung out with was just trying to act like me. And when they stopped trying to act like me, I ain't really want to be their friend no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, nah, bro, I just be myself, dog. And if you don't like me, you just don't like me, bro. Like, if you don't like what I talk about, my bad. I try not to say no, like too off the wall crazy shit. But sometimes it happens.
I got
you. Yeah, you know that.
Yeah, I know. I've been around you. I listen to your podcast, watch the videos, all that stuff. Speaking of, I want to speak on something real quick, and it's not too. I'm not debating you. I actually 1,000% agree with you. I saw a clip of you talking about podcasters in the area. And you said the number one podcaster in the area is Maine. Shout out to Maine. And the number 2 podcaster is yourself.
Yeah.
And I want to 1,000% agree with you because I want to, first of all, I definitely want to talk about Maine because Maine is the first person that I knew in this area that was doing podcasts. Like the first and only person I knew in the area. Not talking about online radio. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about podcasting and labeling as podcasting. I met him through my sister. They went to school together. And I believe if the story is correct, he asked my sister about interviewing me. I think that was right. And I will not tell you when Maine, again, was, and I always give him props about this, he was so prepared. Like, he was so organized. He had his notes. he likes to, like, we, of course, people know me and Maine did a show called Fire and Ice. And
I was the number one fan.
I appreciate that, bro. Maine likes to give credit to me as far as how he learned from me as far as like asking questions and interviewing people. I have to say, I learned a lot from him as far as just his organization and his commitment and willingness to the podcasting game, and also too just how consistent that he is with what he does. Mm-hmm. Now to you, I agree with you as far as you also being a top podcaster in the area. Again, your passion for podcasting is what stands out for me. Like, you really love this area, and you're not really trying to do anything else really like that. You just lit like, I am Slim and I'm a podcaster and I love what I do, and I think that's what stands out about you as far as like just with when it comes to just doing podcasting in the area. So I definitely appreciate that. Appreciate y'all. I want to give y'all flowers. I don't have no real flowers. I know how you feel about men giving men gifts. All that toxicity he be talking about over there. I'm just joking. But no, seriously, I really want to give y'all flowers, especially give you your flowers while you're here on KARLTON'S World. And I say I appreciate you for what you do in the genre, man.
Man, I appreciate that a lot, bro. A lot of people feel like I was pandering and just trying to be like nice because I don't want to bump heads with Maine. But I was really telling like exactly how I feel. Like the day I met Maine, I knew that like he had a passion for this more than anybody I had ever seen. I'm talking about like globally and everything. Like his passion for this shit is just unmatched, bro. And I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead.
That top 3 shit was like a shot to somebody.
Oh,
and the
Lord.
person who was a shot to definitely don't give a fuck, so it didn't matter. But the people that it had nothing to do with it got offended. And I was like, bro,
why'd they get offended?
I don't know. People were sending me shit like, what about this podcast? And what about that podcast? And what about that podcast?
But why can't people have their favorite podcast, have their favorite podcasters? I feel like, okay, for me, right? So, of course, I want to give a shout out to my brother. My brother has a podcast called Jesus Through Love. Right? Is it love? Wait, hold on. Let me get that right. I'm sorry.
Make sure you don't mess it up.
I know. I don't want to mess it up. That's my brother. Like my brother. So I'm sorry. Let me make sure I got that right. I'm sorry, Cameron. It is, I think I said it right though. Jesus Through Love. Yes, it is. It's Jesus Through Love. So my brother, he's definitely one of my favorite podcasters. Because again, my brother's the youngest out of all of us, but he's literally the oldest. Yeah. Like he's become the oldest. He's very wise beyond his years, and I love hearing his perspective on topics and things like that. And of course, he comes on my stuff too, and we talk. And I like when we have our talks and everything too. That's kind of how we catch up and stuff. And then of course, one of my favorite podcasts I love to listen to is what we're talking about this time, and it's my guys Josh Abrams, Smiley Abrams, and then 730. And their podcast is basically they talk about like a lot of entertainment stuff, like television shows. They do a lot. They actually do have a thing called Tubi Tuesdays, where they pick out Tubi movies and they talk about those. And of course, because I'm into entertainment, so of course that's gonna be on my top thing. Now you're into sports, so there's sports podcasters that you might listen to that I might be like, nah, that ain't me. I ain't really into that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why everybody can't have their thing. Why does everything always have to be an issue? If Maine is your top one, that's your top one.
Correct.
It's a lot of people that. Let me not say this. I'm gonna say it. No, it's a lot of people that say Jay-Z's the best rapper of all time, man, and I don't agree with that.
I don't either.
So
he's in my top 3 though. I don't agree with him being number 1.
He's not number 1 to me, but that's our choice, and I don't understand why it always has to be. You can have a friendly conversation about it, but I don't understand why everything got always be so rah.
Nah, you know how when you got an opinion about something and someone else has an opinion about it, that's law to them. And they think what you're saying is law to you also. When I say a statement like that, it's not law. You know what I'm saying? But that's how most people feel. They feel like you're saying it and there's no wiggle room for it. Like, nah, if you got a good debate and you feel like this person's number 1, I'll hear you out. It might not change who my number 1 is,
right?
But I might consider it,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But bro, it's some other podcasts in the area I rock with. Like I really rock with Rocket Slim and what he got going on. Like I don't think I mentioned that on that episode, but I really rock with him, bro. Like all the new podcasters that's been popping up. they've been motivating me to get back into the space because I took a little break. But that's just my opinion about Maine being number one, and I don't think like it's no stopping him. And especially like I cut this part out of the clip, but I said the reason why I really think he's number one in the area is for what he represents. Like he represents Augusta. It's literally called More Than the Masses, and his whole podcast is centered around shining light on Augusta. I don't have an Augusta-based podcast. Like, you know, my motivation was like Joe Rogan and stuff like that. Maine literally has a niche, and I always respect people with niches.
That makes sense. Also, we get a shout out to Ken Macon.
Ken Macon is like
making a difference.
He's the GOAT for real though, bro. Like he's the GOAT. Like me and Maine both like literally would dissect his podcast and listen to him and be like, bro, this is like the most amazing thing I ever heard in my life. Like he's like. I used to call him the Black Austin Rhodes, but I probably should chill.
I think you should chill on that.
Bro, I didn't know people hated Buddy so much, bro.
Nah.
You know, his wife taught at the school I went to.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I didn't know people hated him so much.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, because I went to school in Columbia County. I ain't really know, like, people hated him like that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Also, I want to also, too, real quick, and we'll actually get on the subject we're going to talk about. But before I even started doing this, because when we got done with Fire and Ice, I was actually done with podcasts. I was like, okay, I did it, cool, it was awesome. Yeah. But then I was like, dang, there was stuff be happening, or I have ideas in my head. I'm like, dang, I really want to talk about this, but I don't have anywhere to go. And so I was like, I was like, well, I'll venture out and do my own, because honestly, doing the podcasting by myself was scary to me. Like, and I remember when Maine had to take a break from Fire Nights for a second because he had some personal stuff going on, and I had to like keep the ship going. And there was a couple episodes I did by myself, and I was like, this is the most terrifying thing that besides getting on stage to talk, is the most terrifying thing one of the most terrifying things I've ever done. I was like, I don't know if I could do this solo stuff. Like it was so nerve-wracking to me. But now that I'm done doing this. And I'm gonna give a shout out to, I had to look her podcast up. I want to make sure I said it right. I want to give a shout out to Alondra Gray. She just started out a podcast called Morning Tea with Goodness, and she hit me up yesterday, and she said she watched my last one that I did about perception, about how people, you have to be okay with people having, sometimes people just have wrong perceptions about who you are, and people just don't like you just because you have to be okay with that, keep it moving. And she hit me up, and she was just talking about how I inspired her as far as how natural I was. And I told her I had to give a shout out to Maine, because again I studied him. It's honestly, I said, to me, I've learned now doing podcasts, it's basically like just having a conversation with yourself. Yeah. It's pretty much just talking. And so I have to make sure I keep that in mind. Just being as authentic as possible as you can, not trying to be so perfect as far as structured. You do need to have a structure, but like as far as not trying to be like so structured that you can't maneuver how you need to maneuver.
Yeah, recording by yourself is probably one of the most difficult things you can do in the world, because like you just said, it's like public speaking but with no public. You know what I'm saying? But it's literally the same thing. Like those same fears you used to get when you used to have to give a presentation in college. Yeah, it's the same exact thing. It's just there's nobody there, there's a camera, and like you also feel kind of insane. You feel like the Joker. Because you're in the room, you have these thoughts in your head that you're trying to portray on camera while still being entertaining, but you're by yourself looking crazy in a room. It's like one of the hardest things to do, but for me to start doing it, I did the same exact thing you did. Like I just looked at Maine, and I was like, okay, if Maine can get comfortable, I can probably get comfortable doing it also. And that's how I started doing it.
Makes sense. All right, so let's jump into our topic. We're going to talk about YouTube. Because
oh boy,
yeah, because I hit up Slim a lot as far as when it comes to YouTube, because as a lot of y'all know, obviously I did a whole video on it. I had to really start over my YouTube page over because my former YouTube page got deleted. Not getting into all that, we already know the story with all that. And so I honestly have found it a little, to be transparent, I find it frustrating in building my YouTube page. Like it's like I feel like the views ain't viewing and the subscribers ain't subscribing, and I'm just trying to figure out like, okay, how how do we get this back on track? Because again, with my former page, it was just a certain point. It just started taking off, and it was just like literally like was jumping, and then. But with this, I find that with this particular page, and this page I actually had it in college, and I just had it for college, and then I was using it for things throughout the years, and now obviously I'm not using it as my primary page for content. So, but I'm honestly finding it difficult to build it as far as like making it grow. So like just like what is like your experience with your page, like as far as like how you're making your platform out, put your platform out there.
All right, so first off, piggybacking on what you just said, like the reason why you're probably having like this weird transitional period is because the first page that you had a certain niche, and when it caught wind, it just caught wind. You know what I'm saying? And this one is more personal. So you're basically trying to sell yourself to people, which is hard as hell. Like selling like your great movies is easy. That was an easy task. You know what I'm saying? This one's a little bit harder. And for me, when I first got into podcasting, because I'm also like kind of at a hiatus right now too. But when I first got into podcasting and I created my YouTube page, and I also was doing vlogs and creating all kind of content, the reason why I felt like it was easier then is because this whole YouTube and content creation space wasn't as saturated as it is now. It's super saturated now, and everybody's doing it, and it's almost to the point where as soon as you post your link on Facebook, people just keep scrolling and be like, another dumbass podcast or another dumbass YouTube channel. And like, you don't mind me cussing on
You're fine.
Oh, okay.
But you did it already. So
yeah, my bad.
You're fine.
I'm just not asking too.
You're fine. Yeah, I'm about to say you done did it.
I got this problem in my brain where I don't even recognize cuss words. I don't know where that comes from, dog.
It's
all
good.
I don't even recognize
We're just gonna put the explicit mark on the episode. It's okay. It's all good.
But
be you.
Bro, like, yeah, it's a little bit harder now, and then also because I feel a little guilty too, because not for the reason why Maine and a couple more people told me, like, Slim, you made it a lot easier for people to be able to podcast because you gave affordable prices to shoot pods, and like you was making it available to anybody. I don't feel guilty for that. I feel guilty because like when I first started, I was telling people like, yeah, man, anybody can do this. Anybody should do this.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel that way no more.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people are dull as hell, and they're super self-centered, and they don't really have nothing to offer. But they set it up and they got a channel now. So I don't feel like it's for everybody. Like you have a target audience. You have people that's really interested in what you got to say and interesting stories, because I watch your channel also. You should have a YouTube channel. The people that I don't know start a YouTube channel because they want to talk about relationships because they experienced a divorce. I know it's people that want to hear that, but your divorce story ain't no better than somebody else's. That's just my opinion, bro. Like, bro, I'm not saying like you hear one divorce story, you hear them all, but like, what makes your divorce story so unique and now you supposed to be Wendy Williams?
Yikes.
I mean, that's the truth. Like,
listen,
what makes it so unique? Like, okay, he cheated. A lot of people cheat. The divorce rate is at like 51%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I agree. I think I do agree. I don't think that everybody, because again, everybody. Here's my take on it. I think it's the same thing even with filmmaking and people making plays and doing books. I think that people see a lot of people blowing up, or they want this Insta. It's the same thing with being on TikTok. If people want to see this Insta popularity, Insta fame, whatever, and they're like, okay, I want that, so let me do what they're doing. Instead of really tapping into themselves and saying, okay, what exactly is my purpose? What exactly is my niche? What am I actually good at? And let me tap into that and develop that and be consistent in that. And get to where I'm trying to get to versus me, okay, I see Slim doing it, so I'm gonna do it too, because I want to have the same numbers and all this other stuff that Slim is doing, not knowing all the blood, sweat, and tears that you actually put into what you're doing.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So I think, and again, I can speak on it as far as like with people. I see it all the time. People, a lot of us that have done films, they're like, oh, I got a story. I got, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all got stories, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're meant to be a filmmaker. Or just because you see our movies on Tubi, quote unquote, that's another topic for another day. I think I'm gonna do another pod on that.
Please do, because the Tubi conversation is getting crazy.
Yeah, just because you see our movies on Tubi, you're saying, "Oh, okay, I can do that. Let me do this. I'll get my movie on Tubi." And it's like, but you don't have a passion for telling stories, creating characters. And actually filming, you don't have a passion for it. And the same thing with podcasts. Now, I think people, again, they see people doing it, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I want to talk."
Yeah.
And so let me create a podcast. And again, not really honing in on what exactly is your message and what exactly is your purpose as far as like what you're trying to do. Because I do agree with you. Like I said, again, there are like 5,000 people talking about divorces or whatever, or there are 5,000 people talking about sports. Or what have you.
Bro, there's people out there making some real cringy content too, dog. Like, I seen somebody that, and I gotta say this also.
Go ahead.
Those live shows y'all are doing on Facebook are not podcasts. Stop calling them podcasts. They're not podcasts. Just because you click the live button on Facebook and add some people in, that is not a podcast.
I'm about to ask you elaborate on what you mean. Like, what as live, like?
It's people, and it's millions of them, bro. Like, literally, we can go to Facebook right now, we can count them. It's people that have on their page the such and such podcast.
Uh-huh.
They don't have no link to no RSS feed to Apple, Spotify, none of that. They don't even have a YouTube channel. All they have is a Facebook page with a banner that says the podcast name, and they click live once a week, and they go on there and they talk about whatever topics, and they say they're a podcast. That is not a podcast. And I've seen a lot of cringeworthy ones. Like, I seen a girl on there with her dad talking to her dad about how she wants to date guys his age. And I was like, whoa.
This is
awkward.
That sounds more like a therapy session than a podcast episode. No, okay, so to break this down, what's your definition of a podcast?
All right, I'm glad you asked that, because I was thinking about this about when I first met with Maine, right?
Uh-huh.
So Maine used to always have a definition. I never had a definition. Maine always had a definition, and his definition was an audio file, right?
Okay.
I guess that's what the definition of podcasting was back then. This was so many moons ago. And when I met Maine, I was explaining to him, I was like, hey, bro, this podcasting thing is getting crazy now. Like, celebrities about to start doing this, about to be like,
which they are.
A corporate business now. And
right.
I was like, all this is going towards video. And he was like, nah, podcasting is an audio file. I don't really rock with the video thing. I was like, man, you better keep up. Like, this is a video thing.
Mm.
So, bro, to answer your question, though, a podcast, to me, like, and I'm not saying this is the definition, this is just for me. A podcast is an online show.
Okay.
It's an online show that's on multiple platforms that you can check out. That's my personal opinion. And as far as people thinking that they have a podcast and don't even do their research and don't even try to seek the information, that don't even make sense to me. Like, all the information is right there for you on how to start a podcast. There's videos on YouTube that's like 4 minutes long, and they tell you how to start a podcast from A to Z. You know what I'm saying?
So if a person, to go back to the live, so if a person has a podcast, a set podcast, RSS feed, all that stuff, can they go live? And
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so
for sure.
Okay,
I'm just saying, like,
you're saying if somebody, like, literally, if I'm on Facebook and I just go live real quick.
Yeah,
that's not
a podcast. That's just a live show. And instead of doing the live on Facebook, you should get on Twitch and actually start a live show for real, because that's where things are moving to. Like, I tell people all the time, like, these streamers are taking over. These streamers are super rich, too. Like, they got net worths of, like, 20 and 30 and $40 million. Like, and they deal with companies that, like, what's his name? Aiden Ross. He gave Playboy Cardi, like, $2 million.
Oh, wow.
Just to sit next to him, and the money came straight from Kick.
That's crazy.
Like, that's amazing. That's where we're headed to with this streaming thing. So, you know, but I think streaming is for lack of a better term, I think it's for like young, awkward kids. I want to say lame, I ain't gonna lie.
It's like you said, I want to say it, I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, I had to, bro. Like, it's for them, bro. It's for like the awkward kids that like relate to the other awkward kids, and then they build this big community. Because one thing the internet did was it brought weird people together. Like, people that was weirded in the house and couldn't find nobody like them, it brought them together.
I want to make a disclaimer here on Across This World. There's nothing wrong with weird. And
It's not. I'm
there's
weird
nothing
too.
wrong with awkward.
Bro, I started out
And
talking about that.
there's nothing wrong with lame. I just want to throw it out there. I want nobody coming at me talking, so you said. So,
But also,
because you know how people like to do me.
It's certain things that people think is like weird that ain't really weird. Like, somebody probably would think like your fascination with Power Rangers is weird. It's not to me, because I like Power Rangers too, but I only like the original ones. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna comment on one of your videos when I was talking about the Zeo, and I was gonna be like, bro, that shit is ass.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Zeo was tight. I mean, Zeo was tight.
Man.
Nakia Baris, Slim apologized. Look at you looking straight at Nakia Baris, and you said that statement. I cannot believe you did that.
Beautiful woman. But
oh man,
my take ain't changing though. Beautiful woman.
Listen, I'm not here to fight you, bro. Listen, your take is your take. I want to ask you a question too. This is something I always hit Slim up about that aggravates me. Public watch hours. That bothers me to this day because it fluctuates. Slim did explain it to me. It doesn't make me feel any better. If you want to explain to the people how public watch hours works, because right now, so for instance, yesterday my public watch hours were at 1,913. Today, right now, it's at 1,910. And you explained it to me because it calculates a certain set of days. So I want you to explain to the people what about public watch hours and why it fluctuates.
All right. So first off, what Carlton is talking about is it's basically only one way to get monetized on YouTube, and they just recently started a way where if you have 500 subscribers and you have X amount of watch hours, you can get monetized. And when you get monetized, you can basically set up your account where you have a members only page and people can pay towards that subscription, and you can get paid that way, or you can sell merchandise or online products or, you know, things of that nature. But if you want to get paid for watch ads, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have 4,000 hours of watch hours. That's what he's talking about. And the watch hours, the reason why it fluctuates how he's talking about it, because it's calculated for every 30 days. So let's say you had 31 days ago, you had this big podcast you did that did 100,000 views. Okay, that was 31 days ago. You got all those views 31 days ago. It's gone now. So now it's only calculating the watch hours that you had for the last 30 days. So therefore, your watch time might have been at 5,000 hours. Now that you had this video that accumulated over like 2,000-3,000 hours of watch time just with that one video, now it's knocked off of it. It's only calculating the watch hours from the videos the views that you've been getting the last 30 days. So it might be 1,000, it might be 2,000.
That's so whack to me. That is so whack to me. So let's so let's say you hit the watch hour, you hit it right, and you are able to monetize. And so you're not on monetization. Did I say it right? Monetization. Okay. Listen, bro. Like, I'm gonna be transparent. The episode I did last time, I said the word wrong, so I had to go back and re-record the word. So I'd be like,
bro, if you ever do that, just keep it moving, bro. Don't try to over-edit it. It's cool, bro. No, we human, bro. We never said we was Elon Musk. We never said that.
But so let's say you are able to monetize your videos now, right? And let's say then your watch hours go down. Do they take your monetization away?
No. Once you get monetized and they approve it, they send it off to get approved. once it's approved, that's a wrap.
Okay.
Because when I first got the first step with the 500 subscribers, I had all the watch hours because I waited till it got up there because I knew certain episodes I did a jump, so I went ahead and recorded them episodes. And once I went over, I submitted it. They submitted it in for review. I think it takes like a couple hours. They send it back. When you're approved, you're approved.
Okay.
Because I haven't went back over the line you're supposed to reach yet. You know what I'm saying? Since then. So once you're approved, you're just approved.
Okay, because I know back in the back, I'm saying back in there like it's a long time ago, but when I had the first,
feel like
it does though. When I had the first YouTube page, it wasn't all that. You had to basically just hit the 1,000, and that was it. And then once you did that,
that's how it used to be.
Then you was good. You was able to monetize your stuff.
But you know they changed it because so many people start getting into YouTube, and you know when a lot of people start getting into it, YouTube don't want to pay out all that money.
I'm sure they don't.
They don't mind paying out a little bit of money because they make so much money off of ad revenue. They don't mind paying out a little bit, but like all these new subscribers that's coming in and you know figuring out the algorithm, and that's another thing, the algorithms, bro. That's what got me flustered. Like you flustered about the watch time. I'm flustered about the algorithms. Like when I first started, the YouTube algorithm and the Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and like TikTok. I don't even think TikTok was here yet when I first started. Like the algorithms was almost simultaneous. Like you ain't even have to like worry about what you was doing. They all did the same thing. So like posting on YouTube was simple. Like you put a clickbait in the title. And you put a couple hashtags and you was good. You posted on Instagram, same thing. And they completely switched Instagram also. Like it's as far as like where it pops up on people's feeds. Like it used to be like, I don't know, it used to be a simple formula of like, you know, the peak hours are 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 5 o'clock. And if you posted these times, that's when most people look at yours, and if yours will get picked up and enough people view it, it'll increase from only showing to 20% of people, 20% of your followers to 40, then from 40 to 60, then it'll start showing to random people. Like it was a simple formula. Now I don't know what the hell they be doing. That's what got me discouraged. Like man used to ask me why I stopped posting clips. That's why, bro, I got discouraged. I ain't gonna lie, because I'm not one of them people that's gonna sit here and like be like, man, I'm gonna still make content. I don't care if one person watch or 100 people watch. I mean, I feel that way, but truthfully and honestly, I watch numbers, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna sit and be one of the people that lie and act like I don't watch numbers.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sit here and keep making this great content for nobody to see.
I totally 1,000% agree with you. I think, like, for me, I think I would continue to do it, but it's because as far as like me, how much I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Because again, we all got other things that we also working on too. We got real lives outside of this as well. And I do agree with you. It can get discouraging when you like doing something, you see it, it's like, oh, why are the numbers there or whatever, and you're like, I ain't about to be making like no podcasts every day or do no videos every day if y'all not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
But in the same token, because we do always talk about consistency, because I even know this as far as like, again, different field, but I think it still applies. Even with doing the web series, and eventually I started doing the films. I think if people see how consistent you are with what you're doing, then they'll want to, I guess, support what you got going on. Because again, we just said that there are a lot of people that are doing podcasting or whatever, and like a lot of people they start doing podcasts, they don't do like 1 or 2 episodes, and then that's it. It's like I was like, where's the rest of it? You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it's important to be consistent. But on the flip side, I do agree that it can get discouraging when you are making great content, when you are doing as much as you can, and people aren't really taking the time out to watch, and those numbers aren't what you are expecting or wanting. It can be very discouraging, and they'll make you be like, you know what? I'm not going to be putting 1,000% into it like I thought I was going to. So I understand both sides.
You got to also trust the process too, though. Like, on the other side of what I was saying, when you first start, it's not like you're Mike Tyson and you can start a podcast and the first episode do 100 million. Like, that's not going to happen. If you put something out and it only has 10 views, you shouldn't get discouraged from that. You should keep going. Now you know, like, okay, next time I got to do this. And also, be realistic. Figure out, is your content good? Because, like, a lot of people, especially nowadays, because camera equipment isn't getting cheaper, but they're making some affordable equipment. Mm-hmm. And people are going and buying this affordable equipment that's actually really good. And, you know, they're having decent quality. And they're not understanding that, you know, quality is cool, but the quality of your content is way better. Mm-hmm. Like, you really need to focus on if you have good content or not. Not if you have a MacBook and you got the Sony A7 III and none of that type stuff. You need to worry about it's podcasts that I watch and they use iPads. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Mm. Or they use their iPhones, and I don't even care. Like, the content is good. I don't care. But if we strictly just talking about podcasts, though, like, please get a mixer and some mics. I don't like listening to that choppy audio. I can deal with some fuzzy visuals. I can't deal with the choppy audio.
That's so funny because we was having this conversation. I was listening to a conversation at work, and they were talking about how people can forgive bad video, but they can't forgive bad audio.
That's 100% true, bro. And I didn't understand that until I got into this field, and it's 100% true. Like, bruh, watching a video, let's say you watching a video and it was shot at like 2-something people. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just trash. It's a little fuzzy, but you can hear it good. You'll stay on there. If something is choppy and you can't hear it, but it has great video, you're clicking off of that. I do it every day on YouTube. Mm. Like, I click off of people's video that has choppy audio. Like, audio is key. In filmmaking also, same thing. Like, when you're watching a film,
I agree.
Because I'm not, like, against Tubi. I'm not one of the people against Tubi. Like, there'll be some good projects on Tubi. But it'll be a good project and the audio was just horrible. And I'll be like, bro, like, y'all couldn't just use a boom arm? Like, you couldn't just grab your little brother real quick?
Not your little brother.
Yeah, just make him hold the boom arm off there. Give him like $20.
That's honestly a lesson. I remember when I first started when I did my first show, College Days. I remember it was some filmmakers here locally. They watched it. Was like, yo, you are a really good storyteller. You just need to work on your audio. And that's something that I had to work on all throughout the years. I'm not saying my audio is the best. I know there's a lot of things I still have to work on with that. Well, I did have to work on with that because I have retired. But yeah, I think I agree. Like I said, I think that over the years, I understand the importance of audio. And especially when it came to when I want to start doing my own, I hit you up, I hit Maine up, I say, y'all, what exactly do I need to get so I can make sure that I have the best audio that I can have? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, this is not really my expertise as far as like the audio, microphones, all that good stuff. I know I can plug it in, make sure it's good to go. You know, I can see the levels and everything. But as far as like actually the audio field, you got people that really specialize in audio. So that's not my specialty at all. But I wanted to make sure that I had I wanted to make sure that it was the best that it could be. So that's why I think it's important. I'm sorry, I know you have something to say. But I think that's important that when you get into a field that you're new with, I think it's very important that you hit up people that already have the experience in it.
Yeah, if you can.
If you can. And I don't understand why people instead of asking for help, you're trying to make them your competition. That makes no sense to me. Like, honestly, I mean, this is again being transparent. When I was doing the filmmaking and stuff, or doing the web series and everything, I would see, people started, but they were trying to make me the competition. I honestly, this sounds kind of rash. I don't care if you decided to start your show or what. Congratulations to you. I'm glad you finally actually decided to do it instead of talk about it. I think that's great. But at the same time, I'm not your competition. I think honestly it will behoove you, and not just me, there are other people that were in the area that were doing it. I think it will behoove you to actually ask for help to see, okay, how can I actually make sure it's successful? and that it runs. And so that's the thing with the whole podcasting. I think it would have been dumb for me to say, you know what? I'm going to try to be better than Maine. I'm going to try to be better than Slim. That's stupid to me. First of all, y'all my boys. Second of all, y'all been doing this a lot longer than I have. So it would behoove me to say, hey, y'all, what can I do to make sure that my podcast is actually good?
Yeah.
Versus me. But there are a lot of people who, again, they get into it because they're trying to be, again, crabs in a barrel mentality. They get into these different arenas like thinking, okay, I'm going to be better than this person. I'm not even going to mention this person's name. I remember one time somebody posted, I'm going to be better than Carlton Clay.
I know you're talking about.
And yeah, we're not going to, yeah, right. You already know.
He said the same thing to me.
And I was like, but why? Why is that your motivation? Even when people say they tell me, and again, I adore Tyler Perry. I think Tyler Perry is a great. I think he's done a lot of great things for the African American community when it comes to entertainment. But please stop telling me that you are better than Tyler Perry. That's not my goal. My goal is not. My goal was not to be better than that man. I'm not competing with that man. First of all, I can't compete. He's on a whole different level than what I am. First of all. Second of all, that's not my goal. And I feel like it's crazy to me that a lot of people, their goal in life is to be better than somebody that's been doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I'm gonna start a podcast. I'm gonna be better than Maine. That's dumb. That's not my goal. My goal is, okay, how can I make I just want my podcast to be good and relatable for my audience. What's the best way for me to do that? And I'm gonna go to the experts or go to people that's been doing it and say, how can you help me make my podcast successful?
Yeah,
that's it.
That's the best way to do it too, especially if you have that access. But what I was about to say is, you actually have like the perfect setup. Like it's the exact same setup I have. Like, you have the microphones. Your microphones are actually way better than mine. So how much do these cost?
Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Danny Blaze. Danny was. I saw these at his studio, and I said, "Bruh, where can I get them?" I got these at Guitar Center.
Oh, you talking about the mic stand?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. The mic stands I got at Guitar Center. The mics themselves I got at Best Buy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when he was working at Best Buy.
Yeah, because these mics cost like $70, I think. Something
like that. Yeah. So 70, 80.
Yeah, there's actually some really good mics. And you got the mixer. You don't need no crazy mixer. I don't know why people be thinking you're supposed to have this crazy mixer. You don't have to have that. Then, I'm sure you already had the computer and the camera, and then boom, you're good to go. And a light. You got that's all you need for a podcast. I literally just told you what you need for a podcast. But you have to have a mixer, because basically what the mixer does is it gives the microphones power from an outside source, basically the wall. So like, you can get the one that doesn't plug up to the wall, and it'll work also, depending on how strong your computer is. If you have a weak computer, it's probably not going to work. But if you have a decent power computer, it'll be perfect. But yeah, I just told y'all how to start a podcast. As easy as that. Don't try to skip those steps though. Please don't skip those steps.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah.
Audio is key.
Yeah,
that was that segment.
Yeah.
Audio is key, bro. Oh, I'm not listening to no podcast with no bad audio neither. I'm not, dog. Like, I come from the era of listening to podcasts, not watching them. So like, audio is everything to me. Like, I really could care less about the video. That's just me personally. Like, the reason why I got into video so strongly is because everybody was like, man, I would watch a podcast, but man, you ain't got no video. Or like, you don't put videos for all your podcasts, because I used to only do video to make clips.
Got you.
So I would like record the first 30 minutes of the podcast and make sure I said something clip worthy in the first 30 minutes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then podcasting turned to a whole video thing, and I remember like every day I had to like work with Maine, because Maine just was like, bruh, like, this is crazy, bruh. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people, I know me, I'm a visual person, so I'm more, I'll listen. It depends on certain podcasts. If I'm interested in what the topic is, I'll listen to it. But I'm a more visual person, so I would prefer, even if it's just, because I know for me what stressed me out was, I was like, dang, I don't feel like having to put different video clips. Because there are YouTubers that I watch, they be having video clips and pictures and all that. So I remember when I used to do the KARLTON'S stuff that I was doing, I would have different stuff, and all that stuff can get real draining. I was like, I do not want to do that, but I loved how, again, like with yours, like you and whoever you have, or if it's just you, y'all just be sitting there, y'all just be talking, and I just feel like I enjoy the simplicity of that.
Yeah.
So I definitely model what I do video wise, what you offer you, because I'm just like, yeah, let's just sit here and just talk. Like if I do have something video of a picture I do want to put out, I'll do it if I'm referring to something. But if I just going over and beyond, that can get real tiring and can get like, all right, and I got other stuff I be trying to do. So I'm like, it's bad enough I got to sync the audio in the video. So I was like, all the other extra stuff, man, I wasn't really trying to do that. But I appreciate the simplicity of seeing, honestly, and then people, podcasts I do watch, just seeing them just talk. Or even, again, the podcast I listen to the most, what we're talking about this time, they talk to each other on Riverside. Mm-hmm. So I just sit there and I'll watch their video of them going back and forth on Riverside. All the panel split up and everything. So
yeah,
but like you said, I think what's important to me, even more important than audio, I think your content is what's important. Again, you really have to have something. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Bro, I say that all the time too. When I first started podcasting, I really wish I would have sat down and really came up with a niche, because I think like the guy that I started podcasting with from the beginning, I think he had an idea of podcasting only from a hip hop standpoint, and I was watching all kind of podcasts. So I think both of our ideal of podcasting was different, because like you just said about how like my style is just sitting down and having conversations. Bro, I molded that off of the guys that I was watching, like the guys that I considered the GOATs, like Taxstone and Cactus Jack and Joe Rogan and Howard Stern. Howard Stern is the most slept on like radio personality of all times, bro. I don't know why people like, especially in the black community, give Howard Stern like this bad name, but he's amazing when it comes to media. So like I molded my style after those guys, and I didn't want to be like a classical interviewer, even though I try to tap into it sometimes. But like I could tell like I can do it, but I got to do it with my style. Like I always say, like I view Maine interviewing style the same as Angie Martinez. And every time I say that, people be laughing, thinking I'm trying to like call him a girl or something.
Nah,
but no, it's like
Angie Martinez is one of the top interviewers.
I really like study media.
Yeah.
So like the way Maine makes people feel comfortable in interviews, the only person I've seen do that is Angie Martinez.
Absolutely.
That's the only person I can even
And I can say that from experience. Like I said, my first time meeting Maine, that was the most comfortable I've ever felt doing an interview. Yeah. And I always told man, I said, man, whenever I have something exclusive, I'm coming to your podcast. If I have something like an announcement, like that's how, like I said, honestly, that's just how our relationship started. Just me going on his podcast and how comfortable I felt being on there, and that's just how our relationship began. And like I said, I appreciate that. So yeah, that's a compliment, bro.
Yeah, bro. I had
people who were laughing are silly. That's some silly stuff.
I had a lot of respect for Maine because he was doing that in a time where everybody wanted to be a shock jock because of Charlamagne. But Maine still was like on the type of stuff he was on, and he still had, he always kept his morals in line. Like he never was like wanted to be Mr. Messy, like do an interview with somebody just to be like, hey, I heard you and your wife split up. What's up? Like I've never seen him do something like that. So I respect that a lot because I don't like people that do that type of content. That's disgusting to me. Just like one of the first gigs when I first picked the camera up and decided to do photography and videography, the first thing somebody wanted me to do was, and this is before these got popular, he wanted to do public interviews like Boot Gang. Because Boot Gang was like the only one doing this at the time. And I was not rocking with that, bro. I don't like that, going in public and saying dumb shit to people. I don't like that, dog. Yeah. That's just me, though.
I hear you. Well, is there anything else that you want to talk about to the people? Any more advice that you want to give?
Nah, I feel like we did a good job covering podcasting and covering YouTube and how to get it started. Only thing I got left to say is if you want to get into this field, there's nothing wrong with getting into it. But just make sure you do your research and definitely find a niche, because I wish I would have found a niche.
Good. Now, if people want to find out more about you, they want to listen to your podcast or watch your YouTube page, give us that information for us, sir.
Sit Downs with Slim on everything involving podcasts. And my Instagram is Slim Wildin again, but Wildin is spelled Wildn.
Cool.
That's actually my gamer tag.
Gotcha.
That's where I came up with that from. I told you I'm a nerd, bro. I just stopped playing video games because I started doing this.
Gotcha. Well, Slim, well, definitely, man, I appreciate you for being here. Definitely appreciate you for taking the time out of your schedule to be a part of what we got going on. Thank you for being a part of my world. Thank you for coming in and checking me out.
Oh, no, thanks for inviting me because you know I'm a fan, bro. And I love the animation, the cartoon animation, and the R&B voice at the beginning. Welcome to KARLTON'S world. Welcome to KARLTON'S world. What's that you say at the beginning? Life is like a. What you say at the beginning? Life is like a. What did you say?
Bro, I'm playing basketball. Life is like a basketball game.
Yeah, there you go. Life is like a basketball game. Bro, first time I seen that, at first I was amazed. I was like, this animation is crazy. Then I was like, he went deep with that one, didn't he? No, did he? He went deep. Like life is like a basketball game.
Oh, bro, you crazy. You crazy. All right, y'all, that's it. Thank y'all so much for being a part of KARLTON'S. Well, thank y'all so much for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Shout out to my guy Slim. Y'all definitely check him out on YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcasts worldwide. All right, that's it. I'm KARLTON, and thank y'all so much for being a part of my world. Y'all be easy.
Yes,
Peace.
Sir.